President-elect Trump is set to take office here very, very soon. And I keep on getting this video just popping up on my feed. Presidential promise, Trump vows to usher in golden age. Hey, as long as we could get quantum, which if you guys aren't a part of my second channel, Tim Hotcher, that's where I do a lot of stock information. Hopefully that's where I see my money. I'm like, man, can we get the stock market to go up in the quantum area? But let's dive into this video.
All right, this is a Fox News alert. President-elect Trump is meeting now with Republican governors at Mar-a-Lago. He's just started taking questions from the press. Let's dip in.
Yesterday in Washington, which of your nominees do they think are going to have the hardest time getting confirmed?
So we had a great meeting with almost every senator, Republican senator, and I would say that first of all, it was a love fest. This is a love fest too, I believe. Hey, I'll let you know in about an hour. But this is pretty much a love fest. I mean, the governors aren't exactly chopped liver, right? This is a group of people that have done a phenomenal job, and especially when you see what's going on in Los Angeles and all. You look at the way they've run their states, it's incredible. I talk about it all the time. The top 25 states, and I don't believe we have any in the list of crime. So every one of them is a Democrat-run state. We want to get along with the Democrats. I'm trying to be nice. We're going into a new term. It's going to be a great time for them. I'm going to call it the golden age. I believe we have a chance at the golden age of America. But I have to tell you, you look at the crime, it's all on the shoulders of Democrats and the way they run their states. And if these people...
So actually, there's a lot of cities that are Democratic that are high crime rates, very high crime rates. I actually brought it up here, and I can't 100% say if they're Democratic, but we have Memphis, St. Louis, Detroit, Birmingham, Alabama, Little Rock, New Orleans, Cleveland, Kansas City, Myrtle Beach, Denver, Colorado, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Salt Lake City, Utah, Springfield, Portland, Oregon, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Philadelphia, Dayton, Ohio. So, I mean, there's a lot. Houston, there's a lot. But Memphis is number one, the most dangerous place on earth. Let's get back to the video.
Ran those states, same people, same everything, but you put these people in those states, you wouldn't have crime like that at all.
We've been watching over the last couple of weeks, a lot of CEOs, including some who censored you 4 years ago, have been coming down here basically to kiss the ring. Did they change or did you change?
Well, maybe we all changed. I think they've gained a lot of respect. I think they looked at the mandate that we got. As you know, we won the popular vote. As I said, we won all 7 swing states. They said, well, if Trump would win, I had to win crazy. 3 because I had a lot of early voting going on, and we had to win 3, and we won all 7, and we won them by a lot. We didn't win them by a little. We won them by a lot, and we won the popular vote by a lot. I think that had an effect. I also think it's like, let's get something done. You look at what happened with Facebook today and yesterday, what they announced. That was a big concession from them. I mean, they went from I call them the unlock boxes. They call them lock boxes. I call them the unlock boxes because they seem to be unlocked a lot of times. But you went from the unlock boxes into a statement yesterday that's really talking about free speech. What a difference that is. And so we appreciate that.
That was a tactical, like, U-turn, because they literally, especially Facebook, they actually said that, hey, we were forced to be censored, apparently. So we shut down a lot of the things in order for, Trump to be broadcasted on our platform. When it came down to the 19, they shut down information about that. So it was what Mark Zuckerberg had said about with Joe Rogan. So check that out. We might take a look at that. But Joe Rogan has like a lot of copyright. Like he'll be like, oh no, no copyright.
But I think they've gained a lot of respect. We've had everybody. Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times. The bankers have all come. Everybody's coming.
They all come.
I haven't had anybody saying anything bad about me. I'm not used to it. But a lot of it's respect. I think they respect the Republican Party. The Republican Party has become a much bigger party.
I mean, to be honest, like everybody at one point, there was this thing where people didn't like him in his first presidency. When he was running, everybody thought it was a joke until everything got serious. And then when things got serious, they realized that, dang, this guy has a lot of power. He's not holding back on what he wants to say. And he's kind of crazy. Like there was a leak where he said, I'm gonna grab her by the poo. You know, everybody know that still didn't stop it. People are like, what the heck? The breakout of the Me Too movement happened. And it just seemed like, okay, problem after problem. We were hearing Trump in the news at the time, President Trump in the news over and over. So people got tired of it. You know, the economy was getting bad. And then all of a sudden the 19 or the mascara happened, right? And so people were just fed up with it. So even those that were Republican flipped to the Democratic side thinking that was the fix. But really, there was a safety net of the stimulus checks that were given out. And that had pretty much had a lot of issues that toppled over into the economy, creating inflation to go up. And, you know, go over to the second channel, which is going to be Tim Hodger, where I go over like stocks, news and data over there. But it caused some mess. And then people are like, okay, things are not getting better under President Biden. And let's be honest, Biden was up on the mic kind of saying some wild stuff, shaking invisible hands. They were like, who did we vote in? He made a promise to get rid of, you know, everybody's student loan debt, or majority of people's. He got rid of some and forgot others. And really, you know, for the last ditch effort, they were trying to pick up. And then Kamala Harris comes into the picture and says, hey, okay, I'm going to pick up the mantle. You know, President Biden is no longer competent. Allegedly, let's go ahead and get myself in there. And there was a huge bullishness for Trump until all of a sudden, you know, Kamala came into the picture and said, oh, we have a new person to rally. We're going to do this and we're going to perpetuate this. But there was a lot of things that happened within Gen Z voters and millennial voters that kind of shifted it. You always have those that believe in a certain type of way of this country that are Gen X. But a huge majority of people were actually, like Gen Z, decided to go and vote Republican. So we saw a wave within young men, particularly, that voted Republican.
It's become a party for the worker. You know, if you look at all of the union votes that I got, and when I say I, it's really all of us together because it's a whole thing. But we won the Teamsters. We did great with the auto workers. We did, you know, all heavily union, and non-union states we won by a lot. Florida.
I'm very surprised when it comes down to union, if Trump would support union as a businessman, because unions, obviously you can buddy with them and rub elbows and whatnot. But
as an example, we won by millions of votes, so highest vote ever gotten. And so it's been a great period of time.
A ton of world leaders have called you as well. We understand still no call with Putin. Is that a day one or week one call?
No, he wants to meet, and we're setting it up. President Xi, we've had a lot of communication, and we have a lot of meetings set up with a lot of people. Some have come, but I'd rather wait till after the 20th.
And when you say meet with Putin or meet with Xi, do you guys want to have some kind of a summit, or are they going to come here?
To be determined, but President Putin wants to meet. He's said that even publicly, and we have to get that war over with. That's a bloody mess.
That's a little bit of a gray area because obviously President-elect Trump, about to be President Trump, once again, had said that he wants to end the situation that's going on over there between Ukraine and Russia. So there's a little bit of an issue that's going on over there that Trump says, hey, we got to shut this down. He said that it'll be over by the time he gets into office. So hearing this is a little bit of it's like, well, I guess it didn't really happen, to be honest. From my knowledge, I don't know.
Soldiers are being killed by the millions. I looked at some very graphic pictures yesterday. The soldiers that are being killed, you know, it's a flat field. The only thing that stops a bullet is a body.
Ooh.
These are it's a very, very flat land. And the soldiers are fighting, and they are dying by the hundreds of thousands. and not to mention the towns and the cities which were, largely demolished.
gone.
And there are a lot of people in there, but the big surprise, and it's going to be a very unpleasant surprise, is how many people were killed in that war.
It's a very difficult thing to tell people, okay, the war is over. War is over. It's over. But all of a sudden you have all these people that sacrifice their life because, of course, this was something more detailed, more built up, but Putin wanting more to take over what he believed a rightful land to him. So it's a very temperamental situation. It could be as easy as saying, oh, the war's over. But you have a lot of people that are so passionate about the place that they live. Just imagine you go to a certain spot and then a war just breaks out. So the place that you used to be your home, the place that you used to lay down at is just completely destroyed. And you're told that you got to move on with your life. How are you supposed to? It's economic crisis.
Much higher than the press is reporting. When a building comes down, these are big buildings. They're 2 and 3 blocks long, different kind of construction. They're long and not that tall in many cases, but they're 20 stories. But when a building like that comes down and they say nobody was injured, no, a lot of people were killed. I think the numbers are going to be much higher. Wow. Yeah. And that's a war that would have never happened if I were president. And it's a war that I'm going to try really to stop as quickly as I can.
So, yeah, that's something that, and I listen, I'm just saying what I've heard, but, President-elect Trump, about to be President Trump, is he said that it would be over by the time he gets into office. And the fact that we're hearing that, okay, we're going to be sitting down with, Putin is problematic because it means that maybe there was an initial kind of like, okay, you know what, we'll quiet down. But obviously the sit down hasn't happened.
The number of people dying on a daily basis, and I get the reports every single day, and largely soldiers at this point, but the number of people, both Russia and Ukraine, it's staggering.
When you threatened tariffs on Canada a couple weeks ago, Justin Trudeau rushed down here. He wanted to make nice. Now he's on the way out. Is that what you wanted?
Also, Canada, Trudeau came and he was just like, man, the tariffs. And then he said, that Canada should be a part of the U.S. And then people started making C.U.M. put that together, and because Canada, United States of America, and Mexico should be one. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So let's go ahead and keep going.
I didn't think he was going to quit. He probably saw the numbers. Look, I called him Governor Trudeau because they should be the 51st state, really. It would make a great state. And the people of Canada like it. They'd pay lower taxes. They have virtually no military. They have a very small military. They pay less than 1%. They're about the lowest payer in NATO. They're supposed to pay much more. They haven't been paying. They have a lot of problems. And I was with Wayne Gretzky. I said, Wayne, would you like to be the governor of Canada? I can't imagine anybody doing any better than Wayne. Wayne was not too interested. But I think he probably would have liked statehood. He's a friend of mine. He's a great guy. He's the great one. We call him the great one, right? He's a great hockey player. But I will say this.
Wow.
I think that there's, it was stated pretty strongly.
He just literally kind of burned Canada. Small military. People would like it. Less taxes. And obviously we would have to see some strong, that's another one right there that you got to be careful of. But of course, President-elect Trump is throwing out a bunch of things right now. But typically from a different politician, they would be tiptoeing. President-elect Trump, he ain't tiptoeing. He's just like, hey, man, it'd be perfect to add Canada. I think, honestly, President-elect Trump, about to be President Trump, is really going to try to do some crazy stuff in order to keep his name forever. It don't matter if it's 2,000 years from now, forever in the history books.
A couple of weeks ago about Canada, and people laughed, and now they're all saying, well, it's very interesting. And I say, from the standpoint of the United States, we're subsidizing Canada. $200 and $250 billion a year. We have massive deficits. They've taken about 20% of our car business. I'd rather do it here. We could put tariffs on. We don't have tariffs on them yet, but they will. That will happen. But they've taken about 20% of our car business. I'd rather have it done in Detroit or have it done in South Carolina or any other state that does cars, and we have a lot of them. We don't need Canada for that. We don't need Canada for lumber because we have big forests that we have, not utilized. In some cases, they're protected, which I can take that protection off.
Dang.
And you take down a tree and you grow a better tree. And that's, pretty common. But we don't need anything. We don't need their fuel. We don't need their energy. We don't need their oil and gas. We don't need anything that they have. And I said to Trudeau, I said, why are we subsidizing you $200 and $250 billion a year? He said, I really don't know.
Oh, shoot.
And I said, well, I don't know either. I said, what would happen to Canada if we didn't? He said, Canada would be obliterated if that happened. I said, then Canada should be a 51st state. And that's where we are now.
Shoot. Oh, my gosh. That's probably why he quit. He probably looked Trudeau right in his eyes and said, no more money. No more money. And I'm not laughing. I'm like, this is messed up because he has the power, because he has a House. He has a Senate. He has himself. Oh, man.
A story that kind of disappeared very suddenly. Do you have any idea whatever happened to the drones?
What happened to drones?
Well, you had said that you thought the government knew what was happening with these drones over New Jersey. There were some by Bedminster.
I don't know. They're over Bedminster a lot, so I can imagine. I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place, too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about that?
Just one quick comment, which is we are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and we house a lot of the SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we still don't know why. And
what the heck?
I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think will work diligently to understand who's behind this and what we do in order to stop the digital surveillance of all of our secure infrastructure.
That's crazy.
Well, I can tell you this. While we were dealing with a terrorist attack in New Orleans, we had drones being flown over our nuclear reactors in Louisiana.
Oh,
and we
shoot.
brought that attention to the FAA. We've been asking the FAA to give these states the ability to mitigate these drones, and it's sitting on some bureaucrat's desk. And that's real.
Nobody knows. They don't want to talk.
Why does it seem like he's a gangster? I don't know about that, bro. I wouldn't mess with that yellow tie, man.
About it. Go ahead, Governor. You're going to say?
I was just going to say we have drones in Wyoming flying over our infrastructure as
hold
well.
of this camera.
And it's incredibly frustrating that we not only have no way of knowing what it is, but nobody knows how to deal with them.
Oh, what
They
the
don't want to
heck
talk
happened?
about it, and nobody knows why. They don't want to talk about it. That could be us sending drones. I hope that's the case, us doing it and doing research, and maybe they don't want to talk about it from that standpoint. I hope it's not an enemy, but we're going to find out on the 21st, the day after. You have to give me a little time for the inauguration, but shortly thereafter, we'll give you a report on it. We'll tell you exactly what it is. They know, and it's very strange that they aren't talking about it. Peter, thank you very much. Does Biden does he do this kind of a news conference?
This is my longest ever interview of a president.
Yeah, well, the longest ever before this was one question, and they would rush you out of the room, right? But we have nothing to hide. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox
Shout out to
News
Fox
YouTube
News.
page.
Yeah, this is it's going to be an interesting year, and President-elect Trump, about to be President Trump, is going to be in office, and he has ultimate power. He doesn't have a divide within Congress, so pretty much and he has the money. He's a businessman, and when it comes down to it, you can make people move with a little money. I'm not saying that's what President President-elect Trump, about to be President Trump, is about to do. But you can make people move with a little persuasion of the dinero. Check out my second channel, Tim Hotcher. Thank you so much for watching. If you got to this point, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll catch all of you in the next video. Peace.